Hello. So, welcome. Sunday evening with the bow tie guy and wife. I want to talk to you real quick about something I've been doing. Now, I've been in the laboratory making a Mona Lisa. I'm sticking my toe into the waters of 6th grade social studies, and I'm starting to think to myself, outside of the United States, this world's a pretty big place. And so you're looking at this screen right now and you're like, what in the blue moon is he going to be talking about? The platypus. What in the world? Well, let me check it and wreck it. The first unit that I'm going to be drilling into, and I've been doing a lot of executive functioning research about Australia, the continent of Australia. Now, you know what? That's a freaky deaky place. And I'll tell you why. Most of it's encompassed, covered with desert. And there's over 3,000 species of living things exclusive to Australia and Tasmania. So that's pretty interesting. Now let's talk about, my wife and I, we were doing some research on the duck-billed platypus because it is a weird little species. So let's talk about it. This little thing right here, 15 inches long, 3 pounds, and it has a tail like a beaver, okay? It's got sleek fur, it's got a sleek furry body like a beaver, and then it has the bill and webbed feet like a duck, as you can see right here. I think right here it's capturing a worm of some sort, earthworm in the water. But the platypus is exclusive to a zone on Earth that is around the regions of Tasmania and Australia. Check it out. First little fact I want to drop on you. They have no stomach. When you're like, how in the world do they get fed? Well, first and foremost, they have a gullet, okay? And so that is just an adaptation that they have, and I'm going to talk about what's weird about the way that they ingest their food. They don't have any teeth, baby. Why don't they have teeth? Look at that little duck bill right there. Last time you have seen a duck, did you see big old canines sticking out? No. They have a duck bill, and they actually have to utilize gravel to help grind their food. And if I'm not mistaken, I think ducks do as well. Now, you see this? I'm not even sure if this is a male or a female, but you know what one big main difference is between males and females? The males, they have venomous spines, spurs on the back hind legs of the duck-billed platypus, and they're utilized to fend off competitors, if you will, during mating season. So I think that's pretty fascinating. They also have webbed feet, like I talked about earlier, but they're retractable. And they're retractable because they expose these claws that help them climb cascading waterfalls, cascading river flow, and it helps them get to where they need to be. They utilize their environment to meet their needs for food, clothing, and shelter. But no, they're well adapted. They're sleek. And think about the beaver, the otter, and the duck. I mean, this is just like, God has a great sense of humor, thus the duck-billed platypus. And you're like, well, how do they procreate? How do they reproduce? They have leathery eggs. This is just fascinating stuff. They have leathery eggs that, it's pretty cool that they're small. They're about, as soon as, I guess, they hatch, and I'm not exactly sure about the gestation time, but when they hatch, the little bitty duck-billed platypus, they're about the size of a lima bean. And I feel kind of uncomfortable talking about their nipples. Dana, tell them about their nipples. They have none.
So the duck-billed platypus, after they give birth to their leathery eggs and those hatch, like he said, they're cute little lima beans when they're born. They do not yet have their duck bills on them, so they are able to nurse their moms. However, the platypus does not have typical nipples like most mammals do.
They
actually have the mammary glands beneath the skin
folds,
area, and on their stomach. The baby little lima bean sized duck-billed platypuses or platypi, we've learned that word.
Platypuses.
Either way.
Yeah.
Are able to suck the milk directly from the skin
and the fur
of these animals. It's fascinating. We watched a Netflix documentary to add to our research.
Sure.
It would be middle school and high school age appropriate.
Oh, yeah.
If you're interested, it's called Nature's Wonders.
And they utilize the narrator from the BBC Earth series, so that you'd be familiar with that. One last fact I want to drop on you real quick. We have 5 senses. What are our senses? Smelling, tasting, touching, hearing, seeing.
Touching.
I forget one. You know what I'm talking about. These beautiful creatures, they have 6 senses. And you're like, what in the world? Why are they more evolutionarily endowed than we are? Well, the fact of the matter is, Bats utilize echolocation, okay? They are masters of disaster when it comes to sound. They utilize the sounds they hear and how they're bouncing off the waves, the wavelengths. They just capitalize upon sound to help find food. Now, these cats right here, no, not cats, they're duck-billed platypuses, platypi, hey, you do the research, let me know. They utilize electrolocation. Now, they emit an electrical signal that they can hunt with their eyes closed, their ears closed, and their nose shut. Okay, and so this is typically when they're, so think about like an electric eel, if you will. So that is just fascinating. And think about migratory birds. They utilize, we're talking like finite, microscopic bits of magnetite, lodestone, if you will, the magnetic rock that geographically points them in the direction of north. And so they already have a disposition about which direction that they should go. So that's pretty fascinating. What you talking about this week? Try to find something interesting to check and wreck your students with. Hope you have a great night. We'll see you soon. Bow tie guy and wife. Deuces.